What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Blitz, aka Blitz Wizard 2745, aka Chris. Now we got Patrick CC. What will it take to destroy this pizza reviewer? This will be the first Patrick CC video on this channel. So if you want to see more of it, hit the like and comment. If you want me to see an older video, I'll tell you if I've seen it or not. If I haven't, I'll react to it. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, noti. With that being said, let's get into it.
Many people only know Dave Portnoy as the social media guy with really good opinions on pizza, but he is the founder and owner of Barstool Sports, a company he sold for $551 million in 2023, then 4 months later bought the entire company back for just $1. He is also known for being extremely controversial, as he has been accused of just about every horrible thing you can imagine. Now, Dave put himself in these situations with his own words or actions. Frat boy jokes like, if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be didn't help him when one of his rendezvous with a 19-year-old turned into a very serious allegation. And whenever a new controversy comes up, he doesn't run to a PR team. He broadcasts his responses raw and unfiltered, never apologizing because he doesn't think he has done anything wrong. His bold approach to social media and business has earned him millions of diehard fans around the world, supporting him through every accusation, making Dave grow bigger and stronger. His opposers see him as some sort of pizza-eating, gambling supervillain, wondering when all of this will reach a tipping point. After
I didn't know any of that. I just knew him as a pizza guy. I didn't know about the bar stool or any of that. Like, hold on, wait. He sold it for millions, bought it back for $1. What the? Something's not adding up there already. But let's just.
Graduating from Swampscott High School in Massachusetts, Portnoy pursued a degree in education at the University of Michigan, where he developed his love of partying, gambling, and pizza, three things that meant so much to him he would dedicate his whole life to it. In June of 2003, the very first issue of the Barstool Sports newspaper hit the streets of Boston, the only newspaper in Boston written by the common man for the common man. The people at Barstool Sports are a bunch of average Joes who, like most guys, love sports, gambling, golfing, and chasing short skirts. Dave drove around in his Astro van, dropping the paper off at newsstands, bars, and subway stations, hoping people would read his work. At the time, Dave didn't really know what he wanted to do or how he could make money from it, but he was fixated on building a community of other guys just like him. Unfortunately, from the very beginning, Dave had a difficult time managing his money. He was working some corporate sales job making around $100,000 per year, but spending it all and then some. In 2004, he owed $59,000 to credit card companies and $18,000 to his father. On top of that, he had lost $30,000 gambling, which led to him filing for bankruptcy. Barstool had a tough time taking off since nobody really wanted to read about a Sunday afternoon with the guys watching football. Dave knew he needed something more exciting to attract readers, so he started hiring professional models and paying for erotic photo shoots to blast on the front page. Dave's readers increased exponentially due to the Miss Barstool competition, which featured girls answering questions like, "Do you want guys to stare at you when you wear a bikini to the beach?" And "Would you ever hook up with a married man?" The winner of each week's competition would get chosen at the Miss Barstool Sports Party, which was Dave's way of luring guys into small bar parties that he would throw to build the Barstool brand.
It's just what guys want to do. They just want to sit around all day, kind of drink a lot, get a little bit banged up and lose some money on basketball. So that's what the common guy likes doing. That's what we do.
Portnoy knew exactly who his target market was: pick-me girls and guys who peaked in high school. Once he launched the Barstool blog online, he was able to expand into a nationwide audience. He knew that Barstool fans didn't actually want to talk about sports. ESPN was for people who wanted to talk about boring stats and game strategy. Barstool delved into the personal lives of athletes and unapologetically trashed their performances. They also doubled down on content like Guess That Ass, Local Smoke Show of the Day, and Smoke Smash, which was basically a smash or pass style voting game but for Northeastern college girls. Barstool Sports ironically got more popular and known for introducing you to good-looking girls in your area than for talking about sports. With this digital transformation, Portnoy became more of a celebrity, dubbed El Presidente or Prez for short. Some Some of Barstool's writers became celebrities in the community too. KFC and K Marco are two of the most prominent, known to not hold back on their takes. "You're a pussy, Santonio Holmes, a coward, a pathetic excuse for a professional athlete, just downright despicable." But there was another Barstool legend you might recognize, Jenna Marbles. Jenna wrote and made content with Barstool before she started her YouTube channel. Barstool fans loved that Jenna understood what guys liked. She was funny, and most importantly, she posted scantily clad photos of herself on the site. Jenna was also a cheat code for content. Sports fans were baffled that a girl wanted to talk to them.
Would you rather have words with the cops, or would you rather sleep with the
Jenna, as well as other girls, served as promoters for the Barstool parties, which led to hundreds, sometimes thousands of fans showing up for the festivities. Iconic catchphrases like "Viva la Stool" and "Stoolapalooza" ran rampant throughout colleges in the early 2010s. Frat kids all over would proudly hang their Barstool flags. Eager to financially capitalize on the loyalty of these students, Portnoy launched
Yeah, see, when this was happening, and I'm over here like, see, this actually happened one time when I saw stuff about this when I was in elementary school, but it's like I never, but I never really paid attention to it. So that explains a lot of probably what we like saw back then. I was 5 when this thing happened, but like, other stuff.
the Stoolapalooza tour with Sammy Adams, 6 shows in northeastern colleges in which he was expecting to have a couple hundred attendees. Then the school started offering the large auditoriums, and at the blink of an eye, they were selling thousands of tickets. They followed the series with the Barstool Blackout Tour, a neon and blacklight themed live concert series across the eastern United States that featured the likes of Sammy Adams, Mac Miller, Mike Posner, as well as EDM DJs. They built a reputation for being the craziest college party promoters in the country, which would only end badly. In April of 2012, 24 young people who attended a blackout party in Montclair, New Jersey were hospitalized for severe intoxication. A month before that, a Barstool blackout show was abruptly canceled, with arrests made and over 300 counterfeit ID cards being seized. To make things worse, they were accused of actively promoting culture. This is a difficult thing to prove, that is, until people read Dave's personal blog in 2010 where he wrote, "Even though I never condone rape, if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped, right?" The 33-year-old also
It's somehow I still get surprised by how humanity acts. I swear, I still get surprised somehow, even though I expect it's still just surprising that people just throw that shit out. Like, it's crazy you thought. It's crazy you thought of that. Put that on paper and post it, and then it's crazy somebody just let you keep it up. Like, wow, come on. It's just scum, man. It's just scum.
also said the following: "We don't condone rape of any kind at our blackout parties. However, if a chick passes out, that's a gray area." Now, most people are quick to say that Dave is just joking, and again, Dave knows his target audience. This type of joke crushes around his buddies in the bar. On an interview with Inside Edition, Dave doubled down on his comments.
You posted the following on your site: "I never condone rape, but if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped."
Correct. I stand by that. I think it's a funny joke.
You think rape is funny?
No, I didn't say that. I think it's a funny joke.
Do you understand how offensive that is?
No, I obviously don't.
Others argued that these jokes, as well as the over-fetishization and objectification of women throughout the Barstool culture, promotes men assaulting or at least harassing women. In August of 2011, Portnoy faced further backlash after posting explicit images featuring the 2-year-old son of legendary quarterback Tom Brady. The photo was a leaked paparazzi image of Tom's family at the beach, and his baby boy was naked. The article was posted to the Barstool Sports page titled, "Check out the howitzer on Brady's kid." In case you're curious, a howitzer is basically a military-grade cannon. The photos also accompanied a short article glamorizing and psychoanalyzing the child's genitalia, but Dave said his comments were not sexual.
David, thanks for being with us. I want to ask you, first of all, because I've got people saying that you're out of line, not only with the picture of the 2-year-old boy, but the comments about the boy's private parts. You're on the air.
Yes,
What do you say?
Yeah, I don't see it that way at all. I don't think it's out of line at all, or else I wouldn't have posted it.
How then would you describe how you describe the little boy's private parts?
I said he had a big howitzer.
Despite all the backlash, Dave did not think he did anything wrong, nor did he want to delete the post. I had no intentions of taking it down until the visit from the cops. I met with them, they asked me to take it down in the best interest of everybody involved. I told them I'd call them back in an hour with my decision, and then took it down. I basically didn't want to get into a pissing contest with the cops or the state. There's no such thing as bad publicity, they say. Dave is a true testament to that. Dave's controversies only continued to benefit him and the Barstool brand, attracting more guys who loved raunchy humor, gambling, and sports. He also attracted more haters, who formed an alliance called Knockout Barstool, a group created in opposition of the blog's use of jokes and light attitude towards sexual assault. Knockout Barstool rallied and protested one of their blackout events at Northwestern University.
Right now, we're driving over to a mass protest about me.
Perpetuating culture, victim blaming, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, racism.
This is what you do. This is good. That's something that's good. I think this type of thing in cancel culture, there's a difference between this and cancel culture. Cancel culture is trying to ruin someone's life instantly for something they said, whether it was something they said. And that person, like in some cases with cancel culture, it is justified, but also on other cases, you completely destroy the person in their career without their side even being taken into account. Not saying that all sides should be taken all the time, but it's like sometimes you can at least let that person say their piece. But something like this, where that person said their piece and nothing else, and they don't change their mind. Yeah, you go ahead with that. They used their First Amendment for assembly, free speech against him. They didn't immediately go to try and tear down his career. They tried to tear down what they're trying to tear down the jokes. They're trying to tear down everything he said. They're trying to show he is a bad person. But the evidence is actually there.
You need to identify them and make them known.
The protest moved outside of
This just feels better. Like this type of active thing feels better than cancel culture, especially online. It's like you'll see cancel culture online, you'll just see tweets and stuff. It's like, okay, you see this type of thing, you'll know it's a real movement.
the event where partiers dressed in neon clothing encouraged the chaos. Dave never got a chance to speak, but felt that this was all an overreaction.
And what I was gonna say is, listen, we're anti-rape just as much as you. We don't believe in it. You guys are taking two jokes that were clearly satirical, blowing them out of proportion. We're on your side in that we don't like rape. You guys are just fighting the wrong battle.
They weren't jokes though. They were bad joke. There is a difference between a joke that hits and is crazy wrong and a joke that is just bad. And it doesn't seem like a joke. Okay, hold on. For example, For example, 9/11 jokes. They're wrong. A lot of them are wrong, racist even. But if someone finds them funny and no one takes offense, okay. But this wasn't funny, and so many people took offense. Now, granted, you can have an offensive joke that people will take offense to, but at the same time, it can be funny. But also, those jokes weren't funny. They were just wrong. They were just disgusting, even. It's like, God, is these type of niggas that don't know the difference between an actual fucking joke and just like calling something a joke just so you don't want to get in trouble. Like, yeah, that's what you think. Say that's what you think then. But don't call it a joke, and especially don't say that that is a guy's joke, because not all guys joke like that.
You would think that Barstool was drowning in money due to the cult fan base and overwhelming brand recognition, but profit margins on these live shows were slim, and it cost tens of thousands of dollars to book talent. Dave ran the website out of his messy apartment with his small team of loyal bloggers. Ad revenue earned from the website traffic was barely enough to keep them afloat. Dave was now in his mid-30s and refused to give up on his dream. As we approached the mid-2010s, it became increasingly obvious that social media sites like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and YouTube were taking up more of our time, especially Barstool sports fans' time. They stopped printing the newspaper and fully focused on digital. The Barstool YouTube channel posted casual vlogs, highlights from their events, and even had EDP on there hosting weekly sports recaps. It was the personalities of their creators like Big Cat, KFC, Hank, and Blind Mike that kept the fandom locked in. The Bro Show was one of their more popular series. Pardon My Take was their comedic sports podcast which featured controversial sports opinions. The guys also hosted a daily radio podcast show called The Rundown to stay in touch with the fan base. However, the most iconic show they created was Dave's pizza review series, One Bite. Dave would travel around Massachusetts and eventually the whole country in search of the best pizza. He would take one bite of the slice and the crust and give it a rating from 1 to 10. After just a few episodes, Dave wisely made One Bite Pizza Reviews its own YouTube channel, which became so popular that people started recognizing him more as the pizza review guy rather than the owner of Barstool Sports Media. It was now 2016, 12 years after the brand was established, and Dave was still pinching pennies to make his dream a reality. Barstool's social media reach was not massive, but the brand recognition was unlike anything else at the time. Plus, they were known by literally everyone in Boston. Their words and blog write-ups pulsated throughout the city. Barstool was the politically incorrect and downright filthy sports network / men's lifestyle brand, but it had way too many moving parts than Dave knew how to handle, and he finally decided it was time to sell. Due to its 5 million monthly website viewers and immense advertising potential, Barstool was able to sell 51% of the company to the Chernin Investment Group at a $10 to $15 million valuation. The valuation shocked everyone. Barstool was definitely big, but nobody thought it was $20 million big. Portnoy says he was able to put millions in his pocket while still pouring the majority of the lump acquisition sum into the business, and that's exactly what he did. But Barstool being acquired by a corporation was obviously going to change things. Slowly but surely, Dave would become closer to the traditional corporate sports network he wanted to destroy. A new CEO stepped in, Erica Nardini, to handle the company's financial direction, while Dave focused on content strategy. He knew he couldn't hold people's attention alone, so he scouted talent, and his mindset was simple.
Find creative people and let them do whatever the they want, and some hit and some don't.
They started filming what it was like to work behind the scenes at a sports network. Stool Scenes was their unorganized, unscripted reality show of what it's like to work at the Barstool office. They acquired Rough and Rowdy, which is a pay-per-view boxing / brawling event that mostly features highly untrained individuals sloppily scrapping for a cheap payday. They acquired Michael Rappaport and his infamous Rants series. Chicks in the Office started as an Instagram series featuring Barstool girls talking about pop culture. Caleb Presley was doing comedic on-the-street interviews. They acquired the Call Her Daddy podcast that was started by Alexandra Cooper and Sophia Franklin. 2018 was easily the most...
See, this is what I'm saying. When the original person who was very controversial suddenly leaves the big lead, like one of the bigger lead roles, and another person can step in who knows what they're doing. It's like see, look, like just off of this page, you can tell which one of these you can tell like where some of their strengths were, where some of the weaknesses were. just wear, and then just using that, you can just become more consistent with it. You can make profit. It's just like, just don't do dumb shit. That's all you have to do. But then he'll probably just do dumb shit. Watch. He'll do some dumb shit.
Most chaotic and experimental time for Barstool. They were launching multiple series ideas every week, testing personalities to see who the fans would gravitate towards. Spin Zone, Wine Walks, Chicks Being Chicks, Gooned Up, Healthy Scratches. They would come up with an idea, slap a name on it, and throw it at the wall to see if it sticks. But with the growth of the company meant that controversies that Dave thought were small would become huge news. In June of 2018, Portnoy said on Barstool Radio that Rhea Kufo, a 20-year-old on-camera Barstool personality, would not be able to put her face in front of a camera in 5 years because people will throw up. Disgusted by the headline, Rhea confronted Dave, asking him why he would make such a rude comment.
Are we going to talk about how Dave's ass is in the jackpot, or because he said that I'm going to look so gross in 5 years that people will puke on camera?
There's a chance I said that.
This is what I said. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that hard to not fuck up, right? Like, I would think it's not that hard to fuck up. Just follow the fucking plan, but oh my God, start cursing. I can't curse that much. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is actually pissing me off.
It's horrible.
Double jackpot.
I'm
just saying you're gonna age Rhea because you're in Barstool World like your boyfriend Hank.
Yeah, but in 5 years people will puke when they see me?
That's aggressive.
That is really aggressive. First of all,
Apologize. I will not apologize.
Yes, my job is to work on camera. That's, what if I want to be working here in 5 years? I want to be on camera. I want to stay here.
Well,
so
maybe you have to go behind the camera.
Dave claims he was just joking, but Rhea stormed out of the office in tears, which just made him even more mad.
Honestly, if you're gonna cry, then walk your ass out the door. I don't give a about that.
Dave went on to say if guys and girls want to be treated the same in his company, then he will joke on them equally as hard. Barstool fans thought this was peak entertainment, but outsiders suspected that the company culture was extremely toxic. Portnoy also fired Michael Rappaport for insulting the Barstool Stoolies fan base on his podcast. With Rappaport being known as a loudmouth lunatic, Dave expected him to air this out on social media. Rappaport then challenged Dave to a boxing match, as well as posting this unpleasant photo, to which Dave responded by selling t-shirts with Michael's face dressed up as a clown with herpes. Rappaport couldn't take the heat and sued Dave for defamation, which went to trial.
What about that shirt do you believe would haunt him for the rest of his life?
He's depicted as a clown.
A clown with herpes?
You said that, not me.
Rappaport lost the lawsuit as there was no grounds for defamation. The workplace environment became such a large discussion on social media that Rafi Letzer, a staff writer at Live Science, tweeted encouraging Barstool sports employees to send him a private message about the unionization process. Dave replied that he would fire any Barstool employee on the spot if they DM'd him, to which US Congresswoman AOC chimed in and let Dave know that his threats could land him in major legal trouble. All workers in the US have the protected freedom to organize for better conditions. Apparently, Dave's tweets led to an investigation from the National Labor Relations Board. Dave, who is known to never apologize nor take back his word, deleted his threatening tweets, but did post a Union Buster shirt for sale. The ironic part about all of this controversy is that we don't even know if Barstool employees wanted to actually form a union in the first place. All of this workplace controversy just made Dave realize how different his company is now. Small jokes that were previously treated as just guys being guys can now become national news that led to investigations and lawsuits. He needed to drift away from his common man ways and be more professional. But Barstool had more momentum than ever. They launched the One Bite app where fans could rank pizzerias around the world after visiting them. The app gained 175,000 downloads in its first month. Barstool claimed that each review earns about 796,000 views per episode across their YouTube, Instagram, website, app, and other platforms. As you can imagine, this is extremely great marketing for small business pizzerias around the country. industry, who would see immediate sales increases whenever Dave would post his reviews. With all this momentum, Dave struck the biggest deal of his career. Penn Gaming announced that it has entered into an agreement to acquire a 36% stake in Barstool Sports for approximately $163 million in cash and convertible preferred stock, making the company worth about $450 million. Portnoy now only owned roughly 10% of the company, but he was filthy rich and had a multi-million-dollar machine backing him. To make things even better, the pandemic caused the entire world to be trapped inside, which made all of Barstool's content platforms exponentially increase. One Bite, Pardon My Take, BFF's podcast, Foreplay Golf, Call Her Daddy, Sunday Conversations, and every single Barstool original program were skyrocketing in popularity. They were dominating the media landscape on all platforms. Dave also introduced a charity fund to help small businesses impacted by COVID-related lockdowns. Two of the businesses chosen for the fund.
Yep, even now on Instagram, literally, I challenge you this: if you are in college or even just high school, go on your friend, go on your followers, go on your friends' followers list. You will see at least one Barstool there. You will. And wanna know why? Because they don't post that stuff on public media. They don't post those kind of jokes. They don't post stupid shit. They post stuff that's actually funny. That's actually guys. There, there's there's this kind of guys being guys, and there's the actual guys being guys. The actual guys being guys is what they post now because they turned the shit around. They turned this shit from his personal. They turned this shit from his personal personal toy into an actual goddamn moneymaker. That's the lesson you need to get from this. Don't start something as a damn toy. Start something as a damn Start something as a damn legacy, for fuck's sake. Because just the idea that he wanted to be remembered, possibly wanted to be remembered for any of that stuff he said, is crazy.
Borelli's and Mamma Mia 44th Southwest, both in New York City, were restaurants that he had previously visited as a part of his pizza review program. In total, 2020 saw Portnoy raise nearly $30 million for 167 small businesses in the US. By the end of COVID lockdowns, Portnoy had raised more than $40 million for small businesses, which fundamentally changed the pizza industry. A year later, in a fundraiser called Viva La Troops, Barstool Sports raised about $200,000 for two veterans charities. President Donald Trump even requested Dave to interview him since his son was a big fan of Barstool. Many saw Portnoy as unqualified to interview the president, and Dave agreed. He never interviewed anyone before that. He did ask Trump rather basic questions related to social issues rather than having an in-depth discussion of policy, but just the interview alone made Dave's opposers angry. Dave does not identify as a Republican, nor does he feel responsible for the political viewpoints of his supporters. Portnoy believes that simply sitting down with Trump fundamentally changed his career and reputation for the worse. He believes he was unfairly categorized with the right wing because of his fan base, and having the platform to inform and influence these voters bothered left-wing media outlets, even though the pandemic was the best thing to ever happen for Barstool Sports.
I say that type of thing could go either way. I think something similar happened to Scott Cawthon, where he said it was Republican. He voted for Trump. I think he said that. I don't remember exactly. You want to look it up, but he did say like, "Oh, this Republican vote for Trump," and people immediately started to like not like him. But at the same time, it's like, oh well. It's like, I mean, he's not necessarily a terrible person now, is he? He hasn't said anything. So far, he hasn't said anything terrible. He hasn't given evidence of being a terrible person. Like, I've known people who voted for Trump because they're Republican, but they're not Trump Republican. They're just Republican. But depending on how he took this,
sports, he was about to be in the middle of nonstop controversy for the next few years. The first controversy would fundamentally change his common man reputation that he cherishes so dearly. At the very beginning of 2021, the infamous GameStop short squeeze was in full effect. Around 140% of GameStop's publicly available shares had been shorted by hedge fund billionaires. Basically, they would make billions of dollars as long as the GameStop stock price kept dropping, which led to a passionate subreddit, r/Wall Street Bets, encouraging everyone to purchase the shares in order to drive the stock price back up, which ended up making a lot of average Joe Schmo investors rich, and as a bonus, made some billionaires lose money. GameStop became overvalued by 1,000%, with the stock price in the $400 range. This all started as a joke, but then it sparked a revolution when stock trading app Robinhood temporarily banned the purchasing of GameStop stock, but they did allow people to sell it. This prevented entry-level stock traders from buying, which led to panic selling, so the stock price dropped exponentially. Retail traders around the world lost their money, and the billionaire hedge funds ended up making all of theirs back.
When I saw what Robinhood was doing, ironically, Robinhood take from the rich and give to the poor, even though they do the exact opposite, I was stunned. I think it's criminal. I think there has to be an investigation. I think people have to go to jail. Whether that actually happens, I don't know. But I've never been more convinced about market manipulation and the people, the hedge funds, controlling the game than today. I mean, just to wake up and say, hey, you can't trade these stocks anymore. You can only sell them. We're going to intentionally crash the market in these stocks, and everyone who has it, tough, you're going to lose a ton of money, but we're going to save the rich people and the hedge funds. Shocking.
Portnoy went on various news outlets demanding an investigation into Robinhood, demanding that the Robinhood CEO admit that he was trying to protect his billionaire friends. Despite the rigging of the market, Portnoy tweeted diamond hands, reassuring that he would hold on to his stock no matter what. You only lose when you sell, they say. Retail investors around the world respected Dave's honor. He was their leader, using his platform to demand change from the obviously corrupt market. But just 3 short days later, Dave tweeted that he sold his shares in GameStop at a whopping $700,000 loss. The loss was okay for Portnoy, who was worth a cool $100 million, but all the average common men that saw Portnoy as one of them realized he is just another multimillionaire who is not willing to risk an insanely small percentage of his overabundance of wealth. Paper Hands Portnoy became his new nickname, and for the first time, his own fan base started second-guessing their support for the Prez. But this was just the beginning. Dave's 2021 was about to get much worse. In November of 2021,
going back like that is kind of crazy. It's like, bro couldn't stand by it. Bro couldn't stand by it for shit. It's crazy.
Business Insider published an article claiming that the Barstool founder had subjected numerous young women to violent, humiliating sex acts. One female mentioned in the piece went by the name of Madison, who was a 20-year-old college student at the time. Madison commented on one of Portnoy's Instagram posts, then he DM'd her. The discussion transitioned to Snapchat and text messaging, where the focus promptly shifted to the subject of sex. Madison claimed that Portnoy shared explicit videos of women he had been intimate with, and in the messages examined by Insider, persistently urged to disclose her own sexual fantasies. I mean, actually, this one's kind of common, wrote Madison, like a rape fantasy, where I don't have any control of what's going on. You and I are going to get along so well, Portnoy responded. The Barstool founder bought her a ticket to his home in Nantucket. According to Madison, the trip was a traumatic experience, with Portnoy pulling out his phone and filming her, without her permission, as she performed oral on him. The article continues to go into great detail about how rough and aggressive Dave was. At one point, the young woman recalled crying and shouting, too much, it hurts." Immediately when the article was posted, Dave emailed Business Insider inviting their writers onto the Dave Portnoy podcast to talk about the situation. They replied that they decline and are going to let the story speak for itself. So he responded to Madison's story with this video.
At no point, she came, she flew, we did have pizza, hung out, hooked up. At no point during it, at no point was it not 100% consensual. At no point did she ask me to stop. At no point did either of us think something unseemly happened. There was no weirdness after. It was totally fine, normal interaction. Sexual, 100% consensual. My lawyer's like, don't, make these blanket statements. I'm telling you now, her version of events is not true on our hookup. Just not true. Neither of us were like, oh, you shouldn't be doing it. It was 100 million% consensual. What's going on in her brain? I have no idea. Her actions, outward, all 100% normal. Wasn't alarmed, never thought about it. Now, after we hooked up, we were hanging out more, and it just became one of those situations where we disagreed basically on everything from, is it raining or sunny out? It was just oil and vinegar. Two people who did not get along, did not see the world the same way.
Dave was able to provide a screen recording of the girl's Instagram, who posted 3 photos at the time of this encounter. First, they can be seen playing Scrabble. She says, "Me beating Dave Portnoy in Scrabble." Then the next image, which Dave says is blurred because he doesn't want people to send hate her way, with a caption that read,
"Portnoy was a dick and lame and grumpy." I think grumpy is the exact line they use in the Business Insider, how she described me. "He gets a 2 of 10 from me. If he ever truly pisses me off, I have lots of content to expose him with. I'm gonna stick with athletes." She unleashed everything she had on me, okay? So I guess it's sexed but the story is made up. There is 0.0.0 truth to it. And even here, this is after we had sex. Is there any talk about assault? Any of the things she's saying running around?
Then a third photo is Dave and Donald Trump with the caption, "Not my proudest bang." He believes Business Insider wrote their story as if he was guilty of a crime even though they never accused him. The Insider article does not accuse him of rape since they could be sued. Instead, they used a quote from the girl saying it, quote, "felt like rape." The article highlighted another story of a 19-year-old named Allison who had a rough sexual experience with Dave. "We went upstairs and he was really aggressive and I didn't know what to do. And we had sex and that was it. He kicked me out. He kept spitting in my mouth, which was really gross," Allison said. "I was kind of scared. I didn't want to disappoint him." When her friends picked Allison up, they claimed that she couldn't even talk because she was in shock. However, Insider also wrote, Allison does not describe what happened to her as sexual assault, but said she was still deeply disturbed by the experience, but then went on to say that 3 days later she was hospitalized due to ending thoughts. Dave and many others pointed out that Business Insider wrote this article as if he did assault these women, when both of them say that everything was consensual. Dave then did a live stream on his YouTube channel where he spent 1 hour releasing evidence that he did not assault Allison and Madison, including the Instagram DM conversation between him and Allison. Allison was in Nantucket where Dave lived and asked him to hang out multiple times, to which he denied. Then on a different day she said, "Can we bang?" to which he replied, "Yes," and reassured her that if she didn't want to do anything, they wouldn't. After the hookup, Dave shows the two texting back and forth. Because Allison was hospitalized due to ending thoughts, her mother filed a police report. The police report did not prompt an investigation because, again, no crime was technically reported. In the report, the mother, who wanted her name to be anonymous, said that Dave Portnoy only hangs out with 18-year-old girls and asks them if they are willing to have intercourse with him. Then says that her 19-year-old daughter went to David's house and something happened. Now she was in the hospital. The mother stated that her daughter stated that she has no memory of going to David Portnoy's house. The mother wouldn't give the daughter's name or tell the officer what happened. All she said that she wants to give us a heads up on David Portnoy's behaviors because she doesn't want this to happen to other young girls. Business Insider admits that they read this police report before they published their article, but Portnoy and others see this police report as discernible proof that no crime was committed, nor was any crime even reported or accused, with the key words being something happened and the daughter has no memory. Additionally, Business Insider contacted Barstool advertisers to see if they were aware of the story they had posted about Dave and if there has been any discussions regarding those partnerships and ad placements. Dave believes he provided enough evidence to prove that this was nothing more than a hit piece, allegations with no backing that serve no purpose other than to assassinate his character. He then sued them for defamation, but a federal judge determined he didn't have enough evidence necessary to prove defamation claims. Detractors say that his text messages and even the police report don't prove his innocence, and victims are often too shocked and scared to perfectly report these types of crimes. Following the controversy, Barstool Sports launched a new philanthropy arm called Barstool Difference, pegged to its existing Barstool Fund. Specifically, the initiative has 4 parts. The first, titled Work Like a Girl, involves helping female-run businesses. The second, for veterans. The third, to support youth service. The fourth, to help people get clean from alcohol and drugs. These controversies have seemingly had no impact on the Barstool business. In fact, he bought the entire company back for $1. In February of 2023, Penn Gaming acquired 100% of Barstool Sports for $388 million. Since Penn made their first acquisition in 2020, they They grew Barstool's audience 194% and recorded total podcast downloads of 1.6 billion. They delivered over 875,000 videos across social media, totaling over 128 billion video views, and increased ad sales by 160%. But just a few months after Penn acquired the company, they sold it all back to Dave for $1. Because of Dave's extremely controversial past, Penn could not operate in the heavily regulated gambling industry. When they needed licenses to operate in certain states, they would be denied. Barstool was even banned from doing their college game day show because they were accused of promoting gambling to kids. Penn could not make necessary major business deals because of their ownership of Barstool and powerful people's hatred towards Dave. So Penn sold the company back to Dave and immediately secured a major partnership with ESPN, rebranding to ESPN Bet. Dave Portnoy is officially the 100% owner of Barstool Sports today. I am never going to sell Barstool Sports ever. I'll hold it till I die. But the Wall Street Bets community doesn't believe he's gonna hold. Now he is facing the challenges of being the sole decision-making factor on hundreds of employees and managing millions.
Ooh, a 1/4. Oh my gosh. And seeing this, I also Riot Games, people who made a League of Val, they recently laid off about 11%. When I saw that, and when I saw the reactions of them like closing a bunch of stuff off, I was like, this is terrible. Hundreds of people losing their jobs. But I also thought, I'm not gonna lie, this could have been way worse because of the state that these corporations with gaming are in today. Like 11% could have been a lot worse. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was thinking about. Laying off a fourth of your company. It's crazy.
Of dollars and billions of views. Dave has proclaimed himself as uncancelable. He claims he has been a victim of baseless media attacks. He doesn't believe he has done anything wrong. He refuses to apologize for 99% of his words or actions, which has led to him securing the loyalty of millions of common men around the world. It seems as though the hatred towards him is stronger than ever.
Because I've seen the shit that you write.
By who?
And also
Say
your
it.
anti-union bullshit is disgusting.
Anti-union?
I hope your f***ing Barstool Sports bullshit dies and rots in the ground.
We're
just
20
like
years
you,
though.
Let me be a little clearer. Move on. Don't stand in front of my business.
Let me be clear.
Let me be clear. Get the fuck out of the business.
You, it's a public street, motherfucker.
Yeah, but
It's
this
a
is my
public
business.
street. This ain't your business.
Yeah, but this is my business. And
At the same time, the way he navigates through these quarrels is what makes his fan base stronger. And if we're being honest, Barstool's media empire wouldn't be as massive as it is without the drama, headlines, and controversy. So it's up to you to decide if he's a villain in disguise of a common man, or if he's just unapologetically honest.
That's just, again, it's crazy. Because you'll have him behind all of this. That just seems better. Like, compared from then to now, it is better. It's probably gotten better. But at the same time, with him being behind the wheel, it's still very concerning because at any point with him behind the wheel, he could just decide that he'll take what he owns and turns it into something else. But honestly, I mean, it'll inevitably crash. Just with all of this, I think Barstool might inevitably crash. It won't be like this year. It might be this year. Might be next month. But who knows? But that is Patrick CC's What Will It Take to Destroy This Pizza Reviewer. His 30-minute video on the Barstool Sports Guy. So hit like, subscribe, go like Patrick CC's video, check out the TFT channel. And with that being said, with Godspeed, see ya.